It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, let's jump off this Memorial Day holiday weekend a day early. I can do that on my show. As you can see, it is the Geno Jones Show. So I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday, about 6:30, 6:31, about 5:30, 5:31 in Chicago. Everybody on Central Time, live in Los Angeles, and on the West Coast, it is about 3:30. So tell everybody to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am very close to becoming a YouTube partner. That close, probably less than 150 new subscribers. That means that my media company will receive a monthly income, like a monthly bag, check, kids call it the bag, from YouTube for my media company. For this incredible show that's amazing because of my guests and you who watch every day, every other day, whenever you can. So shout out to you. So please continue to support the show with your views. Please, your clicks, your likes, click on the thumbs up button. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Join or start the conversation in my chat room. I have a live chat room open when I'm on camera, like right now, Thursday, a little after 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And tell everybody to not just subscribe to the channel, but you can copy and paste the link in an email or a text message. Share the show on everybody's page. You know, you can share it. You can tag their page, put it inside Messenger, however you want to share the show. You have my blessings. Chop up some of my monologue. Some of the show, you can make it go viral. And if you would like to support the show financially, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, if you would like to be a sponsor of the show, I'd be honored to have you as a sponsor and an advertiser, so you can reach out to me. So first of all, Geno Jones Show, that's my email. I have a Gmail, Geno Jones Show. So you spell it, Geno Jones Show @Gmail. Now, if you would like to make a financial contribution, a love offering, a gift, bless a brother's business, and a belated birthday gift, since my birthday was Tuesday, all that is good. So 2 forms. You can Zelle me, so to Zelle, to sell money to my business account to make a financial contribution or gift to the show, and I would greatly appreciate it. I really would be so humbled. So via Zelle, type in my name, Geno Jones, then use my email to Zelle your contribution or gift, Geno Jones Show @Gmail. Geno Jones Show @Gmail. Or you can Cash App me. All right. As a matter of fact, shout out to my man Groove Master Dre. Shout out to Rosalind. Thank you, Rosalind, who Cash Apped the show the other day. So you can Cash App like Rosalind or anyone else if you like to make a contribution, if you like to financially support the show, or a gift, a love offering, or belated birthday blessing. We'll take it all. So Cash App. It's $ Dad G Jones, $, capital D like David, lowercase a like Apple, lowercase d like Daddy, capital G like Geno, capital J like Jones, lowercase o like Oprah, lowercase n like Nancy, lowercase e like Elephant, lowercase s like Sam, $ Dad G Jones on Cash App. So we can do that too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So first, let me just do this. Off the programming note. First thing, programming note. So the next live show after today, Thursday, will be on Tuesday. So it'll be the best of the Geno Jones Show on Friday and Monday. Monday is Memorial Day. Want to shout out, honor all those veterans, especially the veterans that gave the ultimate sacrifice, that made the ultimate sacrifice. And as a matter of fact, my guest co-host Kay Love's coming on. She is the veteran, and she said something in our pre-show meeting. You had many that gave something, and you had a few that gave the ultimate gift and sacrifice, which was their life. So we're going to honor them. But I want to just point this out in case you didn't know. So the MAGA cult in the House of Representatives, so they basically, they passed, it hadn't been signed yet. So they passed the bill. Bill is not a law until the person in the White House signs off on it. But I just want to give you a heads up. So they're going to cut and I've been warning everybody, they're going to cut $535 billion from Medicare on top of the 800 million, 800 billion, I think. They want to cut from Medicaid. So anyway, it's going to be huge cuts, because I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it's going to be huge cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, or to Medicaid, because Orange Hill said, oh, we're not going to cut Medicaid, we're not going to cut Medicare, which was a lie, and he always sticks to the lie. And if his lips are moving, if he's breathing, even if his lips are not moving, if he is breathing, if you see his chest heaving, going up and down, he's lying. But this is real, because this is going to affect millions of Americans who their children. So basically, Medicaid is insurance. It's health insurance that works with the state. So it's a federal and state partnership. Basically, children make up the majority. Poor children. Also, Medicare pays virtually, if you have an elderly family member that's in a nursing home, virtually all the money that these nursing homes get in America is funded by Medicaid. If you got an elderly parent and they're in the latter stages of their lives, unfortunately they have to go to a nursing home, that cost is covered by Medicaid. That's going to be gone. Medicare is health insurance, is federal health insurance for people 65 and over. Virtually in all cases. There's a few cases where you have some people who actually get Medicare under 65, but and a SNAP program. So I'm just told you this is going to happen. Billions of dollars. I think 500 million for, so it's actually, so 500 million out of Medicare, 800 million out of Medicaid, and in SNAP. So anyway, well, we'll talk more next Tuesday, as a matter of fact. My girl, Crystal Matthews, she's an author, former South Carolina state representative. So we're going to start name checking. But if you live, especially if you live in a MAGA state, here we have Senator Lindsey Graham, who's up for re-election, and Senator Tim Scott. So I would encourage everybody, especially those who's worried about trans women in bathrooms. Trans people make up less than 1%, but there are millions of South Carolinians and hundreds of thousands of people in South Carolina that will be affected. I would say millions between the Medicare, the Medicaid, and the SNAP benefits cut. It's going to affect millions of people in South Carolina. As a matter of fact, 51% of children in rural areas here in South Carolina are on Medicaid. That health insurance is going to be gone. So we're going to talk about that in depth. So what you need to do, what is that, 202? I had that number. I used to know it by heart. So you can Google, call your local senators. I'm just reaching over here to get my notes. I got notes everywhere. 202, I want to say 224-3121. But just Google, call my senator. How about that? You can Google or chat GPT, call my U.S. senator, type in your zip code, and the number will come up. I don't have it in front of me. Here, I got a couple more. This is the anal part. This is that Taurus in me. I can't let anything beat me, whip me. So now, but I'm almost certain. But anyway, you can, I'm going to make it simple because I got to bring on my guests. You can Google called, my U.S. Senator called here in Nancy Mace, who is busy disrespecting one of our legendary news anchors, Raphael James. She was so busy, with her ignorant racist attack on Raphael James. And when you through with that charade, with that clown show, Nancy Mace, you voted to cut Medicare and Medicaid for tens of thousands, hundreds, probably thousands of people in your district. So they're going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to make sure they do. So I just needed to put that on the table because this is real life stuff that's going to affect everybody after Memorial Day and all the cookouts and the picnics and the concerts, and everybody's got on their white linen and all the May babies. We still celebrating birthdays, but this is real life stuff, and it's going to affect people in a really horrible way. Oh, by the way, that money that is being taken away from Medicare and Medicaid and SNAP benefits is to give billionaires like Elon Musk another tax break. Not to mention that Elon Musk and his companies get $8 million a day from you and me, who pay federal taxes, who pay FICA. Well, you got FICA showing up on that paycheck. That money they took out, that's your money. That money's going to Elon Musk for what? For these damn self-driving cars, crashing into shit. All right, let me shift the energy here, ladies and gentlemen, because it is the weekend. Early, we're kicking off this Memorial Day holiday weekend, the unofficial beginning of summer, and she has been so gracious to fill in for Miss Keela Carson, who is studying to be a doctor. She'll be Dr. Carson. She is studying to get her PhD. But in the meantime, this sister's been holding it down like 4 flat tires on, not even 4 flat tires, like a brand new pickup truck on rims, because somebody done came and not even on the rims, like on the brake pads. When they come in, they steal not just the tires, but the wheels. They break you down so bad, the car's sitting on bricks, and on the brake axles, she's breaking it down like that. Ladies and gentlemen, media personality or influencer competing in a beauty pageant. She's doing it all. There she is, and got that $1 million, billion smile. Miss K-Love herself, a.k.a. Miss Christy Baxter, a.k.a. K to the K hyphen to the L to the O to the V to the E, K to the L-O-V-E. Miss K-Love, what's up, girl?
That was an awesome introduction. I appreciate you, my Taurus brother.
Yes.
What's going on?
Say that. I love that. I love that top. It's nice and flowery,
yeah.
And even got the matching with your hair.
Yeah.
Got the green in there.
Yeah, got the green, little fade to black.
Yeah,
got my design.
Man, shout out your barber, whoever he be putting in work.
Yes, shout out to it's a she.
Oh, well, shout her out.
Yes, Christian Coleman, Anointed Cuts out of Somerville. She's who keeps me looking how I want to look. Yes, she colors it.
She got the little butterfly.
Yes, it's actually a love infinity sign. It's a heart.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Symbol. All right, she got that. Go ahead on, girl.
Yes. Co-pastor Christian Coleman. Yes.
Sister
that's
Christian
my girl.
Coleman.
That's my girl.
And of course, shout out to the official barber and hairstylist for my show, Mr. Mark Hill Bailey from Designer Cuts over there. I mean, not design. Designer Cuts. Well, as a matter of fact, he's got the app to Designer Cuts. He's out in Goose Creek in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. On Instagram, KLB Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. So,
and Christian is Anointed Cuts, LMBY.
Say that again.
Cuts. It's Anointed Cuts, cuts with a K. Anointed Cuts, LMBY on IG. And the LMBY, let me bless you. She's a pastor or co-pastor. She's a singer. She is amazing. She's a whole vibe. Check her out.
Come on, Christian Coleman. Come on. You need to be one of the sponsors on the Geno Jones Show. Come on, join the family, girl. You getting all them checks. Come on, show a brother some love. Go on and hit that. Go on and hit that Zelle Geno Jones Show at Gmail or that $Dad G Jones. Go on, show
That's
brothers some
Geno.
love. We showing you some
Yeah,
love there. Shout out to she putting that work in. Oh yeah, she
she
got a
is.
mean game with them Clippers. All right.
Yeah,
Okay, so what's
yeah.
going on, Miss K Love? What you got going on? You ready for
Well,
the
I definitely,
Memorial Day holiday weekend?
yes, I was going to say, as an Air Force veteran, I absolutely want to take a moment to shout out those that made the ultimate sacrifice. Like my brother said, some gave all. All gave some, but some gave all. They made that ultimate sacrifice. And a lot of times people tend to think that Veterans Day and Memorial Day are the same. They are not. Memorial Day is to honor those that are no longer here.
Thank you. I was gonna say, yeah, please, for those who don't know, educate them and explain the difference between, like you did, Memorial Day
Yes.
and Veterans Day.
Yes, yes. Veterans Day is for all that have served in some capacity in our United States military. But Memorial Day is to remember those that have served but made the ultimate sacrifice and they are no longer here. And those folks absolutely deserve even more of an honor because of making that ultimate sacrifice. Yes, sir.
And shout out to all the men and women, all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and all those
Yes.
who wore the uniform. You are not losers and suckers, in spite of what your commander in chief has called you all. I just got to keep it 1,000. I have
Yeah.
the ultimate respect. I've never served. I got family that served, but I always had the ultimate respect. And it bothers me when people disrespect, especially people who hadn't served. It's like
Absolutely.
your punk ass when he was too afraid to even serve. So how you gonna
Right.
call somebody losers and suckers? I digress. I just had to throw that in there, because like I said, I mean, I'd never served, but I respect those that have served. I've had from my grandfather who was in World War One, my
Mm.
father-in-law, my late father-in-law who was in the Korean War, and I had my late uncle, maternal uncle. He was in the Navy. Cousins in the Marine. One of my first cousins, a retired master sergeant in the Marines. Shout out to Sonny, Roy Gray, and so many cousins in the Marine, Air Force, Army. So I have nothing but respect for all of you men and women that have served. So thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Absolutely, positively.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a rough road to walk, even as a veteran, just because veterans, at this point, some of our benefits are in jeopardy at this time, and so we're trying to unite as best as we can. We're trying to, keep that in the forefront because people need to understand that we, serve in a country that does not want to serve us. They don't want to honor our service. And it gets
What?
really interesting.
So let's go. Let's open that page all the way up, because I firsthand I got a cousin that's been affected by that whole water in Camp Lejeune, and that's a whole nother story. But
Mhm.
it's crazy that, and I've heard this story from my family members that are retired. Like I said, one of my first cousins is retired military,
Mhm.
retired master sergeant in the Marines, and
Mhm.
that you all have to fight, and it's like fight that goes. It's like years, not a
Yes.
year,
Yes.
years long
Years.
fight. So if you could, Caleb, so what benefits have been since January? Since January, what benefits have veterans? Because I do remember some, but you can speak to that. What have you all lost, had cut, and what's being threatened to be cut from?
Well, they are threatening to discontinue veterans benefits altogether. And
Wow.
this is yes, and this is money that that we earn from serving. And the truth of the matter is, even if you only served, 6 months, you're entitled to some type of benefit. But under this, administration, there have been talks about discontinuing all benefits. At this time, I don't know of anyone that has formally lost their benefits, but it's looking real shaky.
But
It
I
is
do.
looking
I have seen many stories, and I do know that there were veterans, because many veterans, and you can correct me or co-sign on this. Many veterans wound up after they served working in a civilian capacity in the federal
Yes.
government in different
Yes.
departments. And many veterans,
Have lost their job.
lost their job because of that dumbass
Yes.
Elon Musk, another little punk ass who never served anything. His little
Yes.
punk ass probably never even got in a fight when he was a kid with his little scary ass. I digress. But it's just for somebody, two people that can't spell military to make a decision that affects the lives of tens, hundreds of thousands, millions of
Yes.
men and
No, I
women
wasn't-
that have served this country. It's
Yes.
it's not right.
It's not. It is not right. And it's definitely one of those things where, I definitely try to stay in the loop as far as exactly what's going on, but I get overwhelmed with it sometimes. I am a veteran that fought for 3 years to get my benefits. When I initially applied to get my, VA benefits, I was denied. I was denied 2 times. I got it on the third try. I wasn't even going to try the third time. I wasn't going to try, but at the time, I was a homeless veteran. I didn't
Damn.
have my own home, so I needed those
Chris,
benefits.
you know what? I appreciate that you are so open and willing to share that story. Now, I'm not necessarily asking you. I don't want to trigger you, and I'm not asking you
You're
to
fine.
really share that whole journey. But I want you to speak, if you can, to the numbers, because there probably, I've seen some stats, but you can correct me or co-sign, tens of thousands, at least, if not hundreds of thousands,
Yes.
which is crazy, of veterans like
Yes.
today, like right now,
Like right now.
who are homeless. And then I
Homeless.
saw a statistic, I think, which is just really breaks my heart. I
Mhm.
think every day, 22 veterans commit suicide.
Commit suicide. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
if you can,
Yes, sir.
speak to that.
It's I will say this. First off, me sharing my story, I now understand why I went through some of the things I went through. When I was going through it, I did not understand. I knew that I had served my country. Yes, it had been for about 2 years, and then I got out of the Air Force because I married an Army man. Trying to be a dual military family was going to be really difficult. So I
And you
felt that
said
it was
you started a family. You actually, I'm not telling your business, but
No, you're fine.
you were in the service, like you said, you
I
got
was.
pregnant, and then
Yes.
you married an Army man, and then
Army.
instead of having both of you all deployed, where were you deployed, by the way?
I was deployed to Saudi Arabia. That's where I met him. I met him at Prince Sultan Air Base in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yes, in the summer of '98. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so once we decided we were going to be together, once we got back stateside, he went back to Fort Bliss. I was stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Damn Dakota. Did you know black people was in South Dakota? I didn't know black people was in South Dakota. I didn't even know that such a place existed.
Well, I guess
They
the
had-
only ones. Wait, you can correct me, Caleb. Probably the only ones that were there were either on the basketball team, whatever college basketball team, or who were in the military stationed at the what Air Force base
Yes.
did you?
It was, it was a couple sprinkles. It was a couple sprinkles, but it wasn't a whole lot of us. It was not a whole lot of chocolate chips in the milk. It was not. It was not. But it was interesting, and I'm grateful for that whole experience because I met some of the best people of my life.
So wait,
while I
what
was
part?
in
I'm curious. What part of South Dakota? What was it? What city was it?
Rapid City. Rapid City.
So is that the southern part of North
That
Dakota?
is it was the south. If I'm not mistaken, it was the southernmost part of South Dakota.
South Dakota.
South.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's probably the warmest part. But even South Dakota is still damn cold.
Cold. Yeah, damn cold.
So
is
what
the
was
right.
that those 2 winters like?
Oh my gosh! First of all, the fact that it was a blizzard in June. What does
What?
that tell you?
Wait a minute.
You heard me correctly, sir.
A
When I came
blizzard?
back from overseas,
A
when I came
blizzard
back
in
from overseas,
June.
it was a blizzard in
That
June.
was what,
I was-
19?
That was 98.
Wow, a blizzard.
That was in 98.
That alone
Yes.
probably made you say, I got to get my ass up out of
Listen,
here.
At that point I was like, yeah, I think I was like, hold on, Jesus. I didn't think this through. I didn't think this through,
She
God.
said,
I'm
she
used
said,
to
wait, Jesus, you got to take the wheel on this one because I ain't ready for no blizzard in
yes.
June.
It was a blizzard in June, man. We used to, it was always, snowing and ice everywhere. We would have to, hunker down. You'd be inside for a few days. Yeah, it was interesting.
In
It was
June.
very interesting. Yes,
Wow.
in June. Yes, sir.
I'm hoping early June.
Yes. It was that first week in June because when I came back from Saudi Arabia, that was that first week in June because I remember flying out from there. It was that last week in May, and then I got back to the States.
So wait a
Yes,
minute, K-Love. Saudi Arabia is one of the
yeah.
hottest places on the planet.
Yes, sir. It
So
was
what
90
was
degrees.
it? What was it? 120 when you left in?
Yes. 90. It would be like between 90 and 110 in the middle of the night. Because sometimes if I just absolutely could not sleep, I'd be walking around Tent City. Because I was like, what the hell am I doing out here?
So
I'm
you
out here with these
so you go from that to South Dakota
South
and
Dakota.
a blizzard in June.
In
I
the
know
blizzard.
you was really like, Jesus, Lord, take the wheel on this.
Yes, I was. I was just like, oh yeah, Jesus, we got to talk. I need to holler at you right quick because hold up. But I wound up so sick because of that vast change in temperature like that.
Yes.
I was on quarters for I think like a week. I was sick as a dog.
And
It was
quarters
bad.
is what? There's like a hospital, military hospital.
I'm sorry. Quarters is when you're sequestered. You're in your room. That meant
Oh,
I was in
really?
my dorm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on quarters. Yes, on quarters. I was in my living quarters. So
Wow.
yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I worked in the chapel. I was a chaplain's assistant, and I actually loved my job because I worked with both Protestant as well as Catholic congregations. I would set up for the services for our different chaplains. I loved it. I actually loved it. I did.
Wow.
I did. Yeah. It was a great time. It really was a great time. And my single regret in life is getting out when I did. I wish I had listened to my late mother. She told me, even after me discovering that I was pregnant and all that good stuff, she was like, don't get out of the military. Stay in. And me right there with my super black self. But I'm in love now. You want to be with me and we can have a family. And man, please, I should have stayed my black self right where I was at. I should have stayed where I was at. But hey, you live and learn, right?
Well, as my mother, shout out to my mother in the chat room, Mary Dixon, along with Groove Master Dre. Hey, Lisa Davis. My mother taught me a long time ago. She would say, "Jeannie, God don't make no mistakes." So
Yeah, for
you
a long
said
time.
God did, but you did, huh?
God did. Listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, God don't make no mistakes, but damn it, Christy, what was you thinking? Because that just wasn't, yeah.
But here you are now.
Yeah.
You know, with the cold-blooded cut and everything that you got going on. But just kind of wrap up a serious note. It's just veterans are really disrespected in so many ways.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and especially now, it's only a handful. What is it? I know it's less than. I think it's in single digits. It's less than 10%. I think is it a low? The last number I saw was it 2-3%, maybe as low as 1% of like all Americans actually serve in the military.
Right. Because I think that the stigma is
And it's
now
we should say this because it's a volunteer military now.
right. That I think it's that, but I also think that it's the fact that, and I want to say this without sounding disrespectful to the members of the armed services, it just almost appears like there is not a benefit as much to serve. It appears that because the pay scale has dropped,
Really?
it's not what it used to
It's
be.
dropped?
It's dropped. It's not what it used to be.
Really?
It's not what it used to be.
Wow. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
right.
That
You would have
you
thought
all's
that it would
pay,
have
I
gotten.
guess, your whatever salary you get. So is it a salary, or how does that work?
It is a salary, and it is, of course, according to your rank.
Okay.
You do tend to get paid more if you got some schooling. So if you have some college education behind your name, then that does help you to be on a better pay scale. But it's not the same. It's not the same. And I do think to some degree, I think that the current administration has a lot to do with that. I do. And that is my, of course, my personal opinion, but I think that has a lot to do
No, I
with it.
got it. Listen, it's your personal opinion, and we look. You know my energy on this show, so
Yes, I
I
do.
1,000% agree with you. This is the man that called men and women that served in the military and lost their life losers and suckers. So with his little punk ass, like I said, don't even get me started with him.
Yeah,
But it's just unfortunate,
it
and
is.
I think that we should do, as civilians, outside of contacting your local law, your local, not so much local, but your whoever represents you in the U.S. Congress, in the
Right,
U.S. House of Representatives. So your
right,
state representative,
right.
your U.S. senator, you need to blow their phone up. You need to blow their phone up. Like I said, you can Google, call, give me the phone number for my senator, U.S. senator, type in your zip code, and their number will come up. Call them,
Yes.
email them, ask email address for my U.S. senator, type in your zip code, Google or whatever search engine or Chat GPT, whatever the hell you use in Gemini,
Right,
all of that. Put it to
right,
good use and
right.
contact them. I could imagine if there's anything else that you would recommend that we who are civilians, those who have never served, how can we assist your veterans along with
Yes.
active duty, just those who are or have served? What would you recommend we do?
Well, one of the things I would definitely recommend is, if you know of local veterans organizations, to be a support to them, to offer contributions if you're able to do so. They do have, some excellent organizations out of Tri County Veteran Support. These people helped me get a car. I was
Mm,
gifted a car, paid in full because of Tri County Veteran Support.
wonderful.
Shout out to Tim Taylor for that, because that was just something that he had to do. But because they knew of my story as a single mom, they knew that I had just come out of homelessness, and they wanted to be a blessing. And that's exactly what they did. Tri County Veteran Support, amazing, amazing group of folks. Also, another organization, She's the Veteran. And this is led by a female veteran that gets in touch with other female veterans and brings us all together. I have had a chance to, speak with some of the ladies that's tied in with that organization. But when you hear of things that are, generated towards veterans, be a support, be a support. And if you don't have anything nice to say, please shut your damn mouth. Like if you feel some type of way about veterans, just leave it alone. There's no reason to be. There's enough going on in the world. If people would just show a little bit more compassion. Compassion costs $0 and 0 cents, and people out here acting like they gotta finance that. Like you gotta finance the doggone compassion. It ain't. It don't. It shouldn't even be that way.
You know,
Just
it's funny
you
that
know.
you say that. I recorded a little video short, and I was talking about the lack of compassion. I talked about it, and I talk about it. You've seen all the episodes. I talk about it a lot. Just
Yes, sir.
people like Elon Musk saying that empathy is a disease, it's a
Oh wow.
weakness. It goes to
Wow.
show you the evil demonic spirit and soul that he's got
Wow.
and don't have no soul. But I look at these cuts that are going to be enacted, if the Senate goes along with it, which they probably will, because the MAGA cult members control the U.S. Senate, and all
Yeah.
the millions of people are going to lose. You have grandparents that's going to lose their health insurance, losing
Right.
Medicare.
Right.
You're going to have children, teenagers, and poor families, because basically Medicaid is health care for those who are either right at or fall under the poverty, this imaginary poverty line that the U.S. government has kind of created, this number. Uh, those are elderly grandparents and parents that are in nursing homes. That money is funded through Medicaid.
Right.
And there's a segment of us that are so judgmental and blame the poor
Yes.
for their
Yes.
state of not being wealthy or not being rich or having a lot of
Right.
money. And I'm inviting you because I know of your story. I don't know all of your story, but you are an inspiration. Just knowing your journey and working and thank you, that wonderful post that you put up. I forgot we've been working together 7 years. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I meant to thank you. I've been meaning to thank you since when I saw it Tuesday. It was really touching, and people don't owe you anything, and just to know that you thought that highly or think that highly of me really just.
Absolutely.
I mean, it hit me here. I mean, it almost brought me to tears. But
just returning the love, returning the love.
You've got an incredible story of inspiration, and I'm going to invite you to come on one day, and I want you to share just the whole journey, because how you entered that phase and the struggle and how the challenge that it was, but it gave you, we talked about it to a degree earlier, coming through on the other side, it's giving you a superpower.
Yeah, it is.
You have taken off. Now I know you're saying, well, damn, I wish I could have got the superpower another way, or like enhance your natural superpowers. It enhanced it, and I guess out of survival, there's a saying, iron sharpens iron, and it did for you. But just this whole thing about people looking down upon poor people, and like I said, there but for the grace of God, or because I get it, everybody doesn't believe in God or higher power. You don't have to believe it, whatever. But there for the grace of God, or good fortune, or luck, or the fact that all the bad karma and energy you send into the universe, you just haven't run into it yet.
Right. That part.
But therefore the fill in the blank, one day you could find yourself like the old Shaka Khan song, walking through the fire.
Through the fire, absolutely.
And you might not make it through.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand that. People have to be very careful because you should never despise, what you may become. You should not mock.
Ooh, say that
you
again.
Should not despise or mock anybody, because that could one day absolutely be you. A lot of people tend to do that. They think, oh, that could never be me. And all you did was sign a check that your ass might not be able to cash. You got to be real careful with that. You really do, because you just never know. And that's another thing. People have to be careful about what they speak. Words are very powerful. I believe it's life and death.
The tongue has the power of life and death, and that is true.
I think people forget that. You speak a thing, and so shall be a thing. So if people would speak more positivity, speak more clarity, more peace, you may see that. And it is hard to do because it's real out here. It's real out here, and it's getting realer by the day. But I think if empathy is a disease, well, I don't want the cure because I am an empath.
I'm like Diana Ross's Love Hangover song. If there's a cure for this, I don't want it. Don't want it.
I don't want it.
Not at all,
because,
y'all.
I mean, come on. What's wrong with showing love to your fellow man? What's wrong with not giving a hand out but a hand up? What's wrong with that? Why did that ended up? Why has that wound up becoming a bad thing? When did that happen?
Because people have too many people have got out of touch with their humanity, and empathy. And as a society, we don't glorify, we don't celebrate empathy and compassion and decency and humanity. We glorify ego and greed, and I can't think the two biggest character flaws, personality traits that have
Mhm.
destroyed
Yes.
nations,
Yes.
not just individuals, that
Yes.
have taken down societies. You can
Yes.
just take a look at history. You can Google
Absolutely.
Chat GPT that. You think of
Right.
any, do a history, all your great civilizations,
Right.
ancient Egypt and Babylon and Greece. We could go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, all your evil demonic dictators and murderers, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, the thing that eventually is their demise is usually wrapped around ego and greed.
True story. True story.
Ego
True
and
story.
greed. It just
True
gets,
story.
it's like a bad virus and disease. It just spreads the ego, the greed, and with the narcissism and all. And at the root, ego and greed are just
Yes.
out of control. Greed and ego, the great downfall of many men and civilizations. So,
Absolutely.
and it's not, tapping into your humanity is not a weakness. It's
It's
really
not.
it's really a superpower when you can tap into it. Because
Absolutely.
as my mother taught me, when you allow whatever supreme being, God, higher power, spirit, because we all have, once again, I'm saying this, I'm just educating the world. We all have energy. We all emit energy.
Yes.
And that energy
Yes,
is
sir.
our spirit. Now,
Yes.
you can call it whatever you want to call it, but we all
Correct.
have energy. There's some, like I said, there are people that can walk into a room and the
Yes.
room just gets brighter. It brightens up. And there's some people with the energy and the spirit they have, it is a dark,
Yes.
evil, brooding
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they can walk in a room and it's just like
Yes.
a total solar eclipse.
Yes.
And the
Absolutely true.
anxiety, it's like you stuck your finger, like you lick your finger and stuck it in the AC socket. You can
Yes.
feel,
Yes.
like a current, negative. You can just,
True.
your stomach is in knots and
Mhm.
everything, and just your body clenches, and you can just feel it.
Yes. Yes. True story. True story. And it's just, to me, it just takes so much extra work to be ugly to people. I
Yes,
feel like,
that's say that. Yes, it does.
it's like I feel like you got to concentrate, like you have to exercise some muscles to be ugly to people. And I get why, for some folks, their thing is, I got to be tough, I got to protect me. Well, there's a certain thing as establishing boundaries, but you don't have to have a doggone uh, electrical fence around yourself. That every time somebody tries to reach you, they're getting shocked because you're giving off such bad energy. Like that's unnecessary. That is so unnecessary. But unfortunately, a lot of people operate that way.
And I
That's
would
just the
just
way
say,
the
K
planet
Love,
moves.
if you are in any environment, be it in your house, at work, even in your business, wherever, if you are in an environment to where you are constantly in this fight or flight mode, where your body is releasing cortisol like that, you really need to get out of that.
Absolutely.
You need to reevaluate and
Absolutely.
reassess, because that is not healthy. And you don't have to take my word for it. A doctor would tell you that. A therapist would. It's not healthy physically. It's not healthy,
Correct.
healthy mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So if you are in
Correct.
that kind of environment to where you are always like this,
Yes.
you need to get out of there.
Absolutely.
Whatever
Absolutely.
it takes. That is no. That is
Well, see,
that
the
is a
first
very unhealthy sign.
absolutely, but the first step in that is somebody being able to admit that that's what's going on with them,
Yeah,
because
well, that's
that's
true.
part of the problem. A lot of people around here wearing masks. A lot of people around here pretending that they're okay and they're really not, and then they're taking it out on everybody else. You mad at yourself. You swole up in your solar plexus with yourself, and taking it out on everybody else. That is not of God. God is not pleased. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Go ahead and admit to yourself that you're not okay. And mental health therapy, please utilize it. As a lot of y'all, that's what y'all need. It's some of us, we in mental health therapy because of some of y'all. Yeah, y'all don't like to talk about that. Some of us is in mental health therapy because we got to deal with y'all, and
Some
that's
of
not fair.
some of the ones
But
that
I know for me,
need to see a therapist. But you know, K Love, I want you. It's funny that you mentioned that because I think of a conversation I had with my cousin, and
mm,
that subject came up, and
mm,
he talked about how in the military, since we're talking about the military, in
hmm,
Memorial Day weekend, that the military. Now, keep in mind, he master sergeant in the Marines for 20 years.
wow,
But he talked about how now he's been out for a while, but
hmm,
he and I had this conversation probably within the last year or so, and
hmm,
he's still obviously connected and knows people who are even still active duty, but he
hmm.
says that culture in the military is still there to where
I'm
they
sure.
don't. Um, it is it's not an environment to where you are encouraged to speak about any mental health challenges that you are having, that it can be
Yeah,
used against you.
yeah,
I want you to speak to that, and how do you
yeah,
navigate how what is we on the other hand, if you see 22 veterans, you see a stat that says on an average 22 veterans a day commit suicide.
yes, yes.
Then you like, but
Um,
then you got to climb it in the military to where it is, you are not encouraged to seek help. So it can
and
be
that's
used against you. People look down on you like you're
yeah,
flawed or defective, and that's really sad, and
it
it's
is
just a tragic kind of um, um, irony
existence.
there. Yeah, I mean, you got the two extremes, but you live that. So speak to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now here's the interesting part. When I was in PSAP, as they call it, Prince Sultan Air Base, when I was over there, I think my second week over there, an airman committed suicide in one of the security shacks out there. Put a rifle under his chin.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Whew.
And I remember that I accompanied one of the chaplains over to go visit with, the squadron, because if I'm not mistaken, he was a Army security forces guy. So we went over, to visit with the squadron, to see who may need, to talk, that sort of thing. And most of them didn't want to talk, of course. They, rigid, stoic. Oh, we're okay. That sort of thing. But I'll never forget. I had a brother walk up to me, and he's like, hi, I'm so and so, and he just started spilling about how that event was making him feel.
Mm.
Now, as a chaplain assistant, I'm not supposed to be counseling anybody or anything. I'm just an assistant. I'm just supporting staff. But I stood there and I talked with that young man. I stood there and and I had to let him know, hey, it's okay for you to be able to talk about what you may have seen, how you may be feeling. That's okay. And what I took heart in was he felt safe enough to talk to me.
Yeah.
Therein lies the problem. A lot of people don't speak up because the space isn't created for them to feel safe to do so.
Yes.
So in their mind, I don't want to be labeled as weak. I don't want to be labeled as not strong enough to be here. I'd rather hold it in. And therein lies the issue. That's why there's so much PTSD. That's why there are so many that end up taking their lives because they feel like that's the only way out. They feel like it's the only way out. Their whole thing is, I don't want to burden anyone else with what I'm going through. And I can sit here and tell you that not while I was in a military faction, not while I was serving, I have absolutely had moments where I was like, you know what? I might be better off not being here. When I was going through that homeless thing, having to ask people for help, I'm living in a hotel, I'm getting money, but all my money is going to pay for this room, for food, for rides. I've got my two kids here. We in this little rank little room. I remember thinking, you know what? I don't think I want to do this anymore. Now, did I have a means as to how I was going to accomplish something like that? No, but I knew it was because I just felt like I was in despair. I just felt like I can't, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this, but God. And because I believe, everybody can believe what they want to believe. I can't help but believe in God. He's come through for me too many times for me to not believe. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I decided to be honest with how I really felt, therefore I was able to share that with someone in a mental health capacity. That's when I was able to start pulling myself up out of it. There's always hope. There's always hope. But the first step is you being able to admit that you got something going on. But then people need the space, the safe spaces to be able to say I'm not okay. And there's not a it feels like there's not enough of it because some people refuse to go and seek the help that is there. They know it's there, but they don't want to go and seek it because again, they're still in their mindset of I rather fake it till I make it. Well, I like to faith it till I make it. I let my faith pull me through because that's all I got. That's all I got. Everything ain't peachy keen. It's better. It ain't what it used to be. It definitely ain't what it used to be. And I tell God, thank you. However, I have to pull on my faith. That's where I get my strength from, and that's where I'm able to keep moving. And I just for all the veterans, for any veterans that may come across this video, if you text star 88, you can reach out to somebody. There are always counselors on hand to speak to you because they don't. That's not what they want you to do. They want you to feel like you can talk to them, but you got to make the first step. You got to make the first step. I get that people get to that point and they feel like they don't want to deal anymore. I can honestly say I have felt like that where I'm like, you know what? This is pointless. I give up. And I've thrown in the towel many times, and God has picked that towel right up and tossed it right in my face and said, "Did I tell you you can sit down? Let's go. Let's go. Round 5, let's go." And I'm like, but God, I don't even want to. I don't even want to. Let's go. And that He has surrounded me. I thank God because He surrounded me with people that didn't want anything from me but for me to be okay. And that has helped to carry me through as well. So I faith it till I make it. That's what I do. I faith around and find out. That's what I do. That's how I have to do it. I got to faith around and find out because, boy, these people, man, some of these people make you want to lay hands on them for real and not in the holy way. I'm telling you, so.
Well, listen, Kate, I didn't, the weekends, we usually, have a lot of fun and you joke around, and I usually turn it into like my own little 30, 45 hour long comedy special. But I'm glad, that it took this turn. I mean, we did want to recognize, especially with you being a veteran, we wanted to really honor and celebrate what this holiday is really supposed to be all about.
Absolutely.
I mean, the barbecues and the cookouts and the picnics and the parties and the
Yes.
white linen suits and
Yes.
dresses and
Yes.
seersucker suits and all that. That's
Right.
that. That's okay.
Right.
Nothing wrong
That's
with that.
okay.
But as they like Chris, the reason for the season, what
Yes.
what is this holiday really all about? It's very solemn,
It
and
is.
and not to be sad, but we should celebrate their lives, but we should honor these souls that have lost their lives. We should honor them, and we should
Absolutely.
honor them by treating those who are still in the land of living,
Yes.
veterans and those who are not veterans, just
Right.
our fellow humans, men, women, children. Just it's okay. It's okay. Empathy is a sign that you are tapped into your humanity.
Absolutely.
Because if
Absolutely.
you are
Say
not
that.
tapped into empathy, that means you are that emotionally and spiritually you are devoid. You are
Uh-huh.
separated from humanity. And if you are
Mm-hmm.
separated from your humanity,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. Because
Mm-hmm.
what's filling that void?
Right.
If you are separated from the humanity, that's that void. Something is gonna fill that void.
Correct. Correct.
Evil, hate, bigotry,
Yes.
just pure evil, and all
Yes.
that. I could throw
Yes.
in misogyny,
Yes.
sexism,
Yes.
hatred, bigotry, racism in
Yes.
all its forms, uh, from
Bitterness, resentment.
anti-Semitism,
Yes.
anti-Islamic hate, anti-Asian, just you name it. Fill in
Yes.
the
Exactly.
other blank. You know, you had
Yes.
these two young Jewish people, look like they were in their early 20s, that just left this event. I think it was at the Jewish embassy in Washington, D.C., and someone shot and killed these two innocent people. Now, apparently, you know, you heard the show video of the person, the alleged shooter, said, "Free Palestine," and
Wow.
I just want to tap into what the new Pope said. He condemned the the killing of innocent anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So those who were killed in Israel 2.5 years ago, it was a tragedy. Innocent life, the taking of innocent life, period, full stop,
Right.
should be unacceptable.
Right.
Innocent Jewish life, innocent Palestinian life, innocent African American, white American, Native American, Asian, any innocent life, period.
Right.
So but that's where, if you tap into your humanity, regardless of these labels and this made-up con game, this made-up construct, as it's called a construct, which is a
Mm-hmm.
system, really a system rooted in power and division, divide and conquer, which is races, and it is not a scientific, it's not a biological concept, it's not real. There's nothing in the human genome. You get a DNA test, it'll never come back and say, "Oh, you're 92% white," or what. No, whiteness, this construct was created by Europeans to divide millions of other people, so a very small handful of people could
Right.
control social, economic,
Right.
political power. Now I had that conversation. So the point I'm trying to make, and just kind of extrapolate and expand on what you were saying, just tap into the humanity. And you were just talking about for those veterans, that number again is *88 if they're just feeling like they don't have any hope.
Yeah, I believe it's 988. Let me pull it up real quick to verify. I believe it's *988, and you can.
*988. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for me, for someone who's never served, K-Love, my challenge, and a challenge that I issue to all of us, all of humanity, those who've served or not served it, we need to create a greater and a bigger safe space.
Safe space, absolutely.
And we need that for everybody, you know.
I was going to say for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you served in the military or not, whatever you
well, we all in the military. We was in the army of the Lord.
Yeah. Yes.
In the army of the Lord. We all soldiers out here.
We as humans need to create safe spaces for each other.
For each other, absolutely.
To because we all are going through something. So we got to, you know, and not judging and looking down, you know, and like I said, those who do that, looking down at poor people and just saying, well, you know what, you know, these people that, you know, they need to get out. The majority of people in poverty work. A lot of them working 2 jobs. So I'm the wrong one or the right one to have that conversation with. So be very, very careful, you know, judging people and not having compassion and empathy for the poor. Because don't think.
And if you're looking down at somebody, it should be to help them up. We should not. If you're looking down at somebody, extend your hand and help them up.
Right.
It's not about a handout. It's a hand up. Just help somebody, you know. And I mean, it is simple, but they've made it so hard. You know, they've made it so hard. And my thing is, everyone can make a difference. You know, we're not telling you to save the world, but maybe look to the person to your right or to your left, because there are people that are suffering in silence, And a lot of them suffer in silence because of the way that they get ridiculed for speaking up, you know? But when you're serious about trying to get yourself together, you have to learn how to tune that stuff out. It is easier said than done. It is easier said than done, but it's so worth it because you're necessary, and there's somebody that still wants you here. I'd rather talk to you, I'd rather listen to you vent, cry, snot, curse, whatever, than read about you. I would much rather that. I want to talk to you, not read about you. you know
And
and
tapping into our humanity is not hard.
it's not.
It's not hard. I mean, this society that we live in, just really, the world that we live in uh, has created, we work in the media, so I'm trying to identify all the culprits, but it's just we live in a general society as humans, to where, like I said, we don't reward humanity, but we can change that.
Absolutely.
So the forces that have created that climate for their benefit, because once again, fear, bigotry, hatred, misogyny, sexism, division is big business, and it always has been for centuries.
Yes.
Conflict, war,
Yes.
big business. It's always been big business for a small handful of people.
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
So
yes,
you will have that element, the great grandkids of those one percenters that profited and still profit off of hatred and fear and division and bigotry in all of its forms, from racism to anti-Semitism to anti-Islamic hate, anti-Asian, anti-immigrant, you name it, homophobia, transphobia, all of that, patriarchy, misogyny, sexism, it's big business, and it always has. But we can change that.
Yes.
Tapping. I will close by saying, tapping into your humanity, my humanity.
Yes.
When I tap into my humanity, K-Love, it just means that I see myself. I see my humanity in you.
Yes.
Because no matter what we look like, no matter what shade we are, how much melanin, lack thereof, tall, short, no matter what our net worth is, or our bank account or credit score, or whatever, how much debt we may carry on the books, we're still humans. So we have to be able to see the humanity in each other, because we are all part of this human experience. So,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
no, listen, I want to thank you, and who knew it was going to get heavy in a positive way. But this is good. We need to, to encourage, and like you said, create a safe space, for veterans. You being a veteran on this Memorial Day, thank you for sharing that story, because it's a culture to where expressing, and like I said, I've been told this by many people, including my first cousin, who was very candid about how that it was understood that you would be looked at as less than a man, or less than a good soldier if you expressed and you echoed that sentiment. It was like that there was a form of, this person is really weak. What will they crack when when the bullets get to flying, and so it's a weird dichotomy.
It is. It's sad. It's sad, and I think it's so unfair. It's so unfair because people really don't understand that there is actually power in vulnerability. People don't understand that you have to really be secure in yourself to allow yourself to be vulnerable and to say, I need help.
That's how you
It
grow.
is okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
It
how
is
you grow.
okay.
That's a sign of strength that you realize. Listen,
Absolutely.
I'm human, okay?
Right.
And
Right.
because you can only fake it for so long, it'll catch up with
Absolutely.
you. And
Absolutely.
faking it can not just get you killed, in the military, it can get other people killed, but in real life, it can
Yes.
it can cause you to do harm or not be the
Yes.
best version of yourself. Your
Yes.
family can suffer. Your children can suffer. So
Yes.
it's not just affecting you. It's
Correct.
we owe it to ourselves to be the best version that we can be, and
Absolutely.
the rest of us owe it to each other to create that safe space to where, like you said, God put those angels in your life.
He
So
did.
when He threw that towel back in your, I love the analogy.
Yes.
When God threw that towel back in your face,
He did.
He surrounded you with angels to be like,
He
all right,
did.
girl, come
Right.
on, let's.
And I didn't want to. I was just like, man, gone, man, gone. I didn't, but I get it now. I get it now. I so get it now. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it though. It's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to stay that way though.
I
It is
like that.
okay to not be okay, but it is not okay to stay that way. It's not. It's not. So God done threw the towel back to you, baby. Go ahead, wipe your face off, and march forward. March forward. You got this. You got this. You got this.
But it is so important, like you said, Christy, because actually, it's funny, I had this conversation at dinner on my birthday with Allie and Damaris to a
Uh-huh.
degree, is that we have to be very careful about judging, grading someone else on our curve. Or my thing is just to always
Uh-huh.
understand that somebody else's journey is different. And,
Absolutely.
our own personal evolution or growth
Mm-hmm.
may put us, or we may just be wired to where we are, just shake it off. But we all need help. And
Yes.
to make sure that my thing is to leave room for empathy and
Yes.
compassion and
Yes.
decency
Yes.
and creating that safe space,
Absolutely.
because you never know. Everything you just said, all those positive words about picking yourself up is crucial and is key, and it's got you, and it's so true. But there's, like you said, there's somebody into that's not hearing that.
Yeah.
So that means we collectively as humans, we gotta work that much harder to create that safe space. To
Absolutely.
I know you're not hearing, I know you don't believe what I'm saying, but
Mm-hmm.
what else do we need to do to make you feel safe to
Mm-hmm.
get it up out of you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it can be done. It can be done. It just takes, folks that are willing to at least try. We all, truthfully, we all we got. We all we got,
But we all
but
we need.
right there, right there, right there.
K
Yes,
Love,
sir.
happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you. This is a great episode. So look, you got to make this thing go viral, girl. I'm just, it's a holiday, but look, you got to make this. I'm just telling you on camera, you make this thing. Everybody need to get a copy of this. And I think God don't make, as my mother said, God don't make no mistakes. Obviously, there's probably many, not probably, but there's people who we may never see or speak to, or who may never contact us personally. But hopefully, this conversation, this show, uh, hopefully it saves somebody's life.
Yes.
It touches somebody. It turns their life around, and
Yes.
that they receive that. So,
Yes,
uh,
that's always my hope. Always my hope that someone it'll reach someone, even if it's just one person.
right.
I'll take that one because that's a smile that's saved. That's a heart that's saved. Yeah,
And we thank God for using us as a vessel. So
yeah,
if He chose without us, we didn't know. We had a pre-show meeting, and we had no idea that the show was
no
going in this
idea,
direction. We had no
not
idea.
at
I
all.
didn't, and she
Me
didn't.
neither.
Yeah,
Me neither. I'm like, wow, this is going somewhere else,
yeah.
but
But
clearly this is where we needed to go.
this
So
this is where God, we believe in God on this show. So this is
yes,
where
we do.
we are vessels. So apparently that he wanted to use us as a vessel,
Yeah.
especially around a holiday and I'm glad you pointed it out at the beginning of the show. Memorial Day is about honoring the memory of those who made the ultimate sacrifice and who gave it
Yes.
all. So,
Yes. Yes, sir.
and for those who are
Yes.
still here,
Yes.
Let's do everything we can to support them so we don't lose them too soon.
Yes. 988. You can text or call 988. There are counselors standing by ready to talk with you.
Cool. Thank you. Shout out to Lucas Swing, my man, R&B singer rapper. What's up, y'all? Yes, sir. My man. There he is. Got the big on the 28th Sunday. Not the 28th. That's the 25th, right? Here in the Charleston Metro, there's a big event, like a big all-day concert, Blue on the River, and he's gonna be performing. I see you, Lucas, my man. I'm proud of you, family. K Love, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, and she is competing in this pageant. So let everybody know where they can support your run for, what is it, Miss? Give us that title.
Plus size Charleston.
Come on now.
The big girls, the big beauties. Yes. Miss Plus Size Charleston 2025 is going down September 27th. That is going to be here in the Charleston area. There are 7 contestants. I'm contestant number 5. Yes, this is my first time doing something like this. I think the last time I did a pageant, I was in high school. I graduated in 95. You do the math. I'm not going to do it for you. But I'm really excited to be on this journey. I can be contacted on IG, Miss Christie Love. That's Christie with a K. So MISSKRISTIELOVE 511. Yeah, because it's Taurus. Whatever. Taurus season is over, but the horns are still up, baby. Don't get it twisted.
That's right. It's still May. Yeah, Gemini's, you up now, but it's still May. So we're still in this thing.
We're still May. So yes, Miss Christie Love 511 on IG and Christy K Love Baxter on Facebook. I'd love to connect with you. I have been posting on my social media about the contest. We are, selling ads if you want to get in on the commemorative journal that we're doing to promote your businesses. So if you wanted to get in on that, definitely connect with me. I would absolutely love to have you feature your business or your organization in that journal. Yeah.
And let everybody know where they can follow you on social media. You have all kind of great videos, really inspirational stuff. Let everybody know where they can see.
Yes, I am on TikTok. I need to remember what my handle is on TikTok, but I believe it's Christie Love 37. I think on TikTok. But if you just put in Christie with a K, Christie KRISTIE,
right?
Yes, IE KRISTIELOVE. You'll find me. I'm sure you'll be able to find me. And like I said, Facebook is Christy K Love Baxter.
And
so yes, I have 2 pages, but Instagram is Miss Christy Love 511.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you, K Love. Have a great weekend.
You too.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's my family right there. That's my people. She's got a beautiful spirit. Thank you for coming on with it. It was we didn't know the show was going to take this turn, but thank you. God, if you chose us as vessels to use, hopefully this conversation helps somebody. Hopefully, if it could save somebody's life, that'd be great. If it can turn somebody's life around or help them, if it just lifts them up so they can move forward, let them know they're not in this thing alone. So thank you. All right. I want to thank everybody for watching. Shout out to my man Lucas Swing doing your thing. And I want to thank all my new subscribers. I'm less than 150 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means my media company will get a check from YouTube every month. So thank you. Spread the word. Please tell everybody to subscribe to this channel. Make it happen, okay? Thank you. Just Geno Jones Show right here on YouTube. And there's no paywall. It is free to subscribe, but my media companies need money to grow and to not just survive, but to thrive. So I would be honored if you'd like to be a sponsor or advertise on the channel. You can reach out to me. My Gmail is genojonesshow@gmail. That's my email. I have a Gmail. So you can reach out to me, send me an email. I'll set up a meeting and give you all the information you need to be a sponsor or to advertise on this show, this channel with my media company. Or you can make a contribution. You can support the show financially in the form of a gift, a love offering, bless a brother's business, and a late birthday present since my birthday was Tuesday. You can just make it all, put it all in one. No financial contribution, no support, financial support or gift is too small or too large. $5 to $50 million, we'll take it all. So you can financially support the show and my media company via Zelle. Type in Geno Jones, then use my email address, which is GenoJonesShow@gmail. Geno Jones Show, all one word. That's how you spell Geno Jones Show@gmail. That's on Zelle. You can Zelle a contribution there, or you can Cash App me. My Cash App is $Dad G Jones. That's all one word. $ capital D like Daddy, lowercase a like Apple, lowercase d like David, capital G like Geno, capital J like Jones, lowercase o like Oprah, lowercase n like Nancy, lowercase e like extra, lowercase s like Sam. $ Dad G Jones on Cash App, so you can Cash App or Zelle the show, the media company, and my channel. That financial contribution, support, gift, whatever you want to call it, late birthday present, we'll take it all. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great Memorial Day holiday weekend. We'll see you live Tuesday. No live show on Monday, Memorial Day. No live show tomorrow as we kick off the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Happy birthday, Damaris Jones. Happy birthday, Queen. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for watching. Big shout out once again, Groove Master Dre, my man Lucas Swing, Lisa Davis, my mother Mary Dixon, and everybody else watching live. Thank you. We love you. All my episodes, if you missed any of this or any episode, go to my YouTube channel and you can binge watch all my back episodes. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey once again, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, the CEO, Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. Check him out on IG, Instagram, Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. You can check her and her Lexi Jones collection out, LX.NCL_ on Instagram, IG, LX.N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi _. Shout out to Bruce Gage, the Mario Uomo collection, wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. Mario Uomo on Instagram. Mario UOMO. Uomo is UOMO. And Bruce Gage on Facebook. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you live Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.